Hello, I'm Mike Smith, and I'm here to talk about the SDQ, mental health assessment and monitoring. I've been working with the SDQ for 20 years now. Currently, I'm the director that manages Youth and Mind Limited, which owns and operates the SDQ in Dolba. I have a clear commercial interest. Strengths and Difficulties Questionnaire. That's what the SDQ stands for. It's the most widely used measure for children and young people in the world for mental health. It is in over 80 human languages, and it's available all over the world via internet 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Millions of children over the last 20 years have been assessed with the SDQ, and the SDQ has been cited by over 4,500 academic publications. It was authored by Professor Robert Goodman, King's College London, and he worked on it from 1995 until 2 years ago. The focus of the SDQ is on fairly commonplace, almost intuitive subscales or axes: emotional, conduct, hyperactivity, peer problems, adverse impact, and prosocial behaviors. The SDQ is a structured framework to measure and monitor mental health both immediately and over time. Studies in Denmark on large scale have shown that the SDQ is highly predictive of non-emotional mental illness, both present and future. The SDQ requires only a few minutes effort per young person, and it works with adults as well as with children. The SDQ Plus is a relatively new development. The addition of an individual personal ID allows the historical recording of SDQs. Also, the SDQ Plus is entirely online and requires no physical contact. This results in far less work for the professional staff and reduces errors of transcription. The SDQ Plus supports individuals, groups, and organizations. It has enhanced data visualization. It has online interfaces to other systems. It is data protection compliant, and it has very strong security mechanisms by design. What does an SDQ look like? You may have seen one. It's delivered via web browser, PC, laptop, tablet, mobile phone, anything that'll use a web browser. It's 5 to 10 pages long, depending on the severity of the problems. Parents and teachers respond to very similar instruments with somewhat altered wording. Typically, it takes 3 to 5 minutes to complete. The SDQ does not give answers. It creates questions. Data visualization is, in my view, the best way to use the SDQ data. So, for example, this young person reports no problems. There's almost no score, a little emotion, a little conduct, a little peer problem, no big problems. That's what he says. His parents aren't really saying too much different, but notice that they see rather distressing conduct problems and rather low prosociality. Something for them to discuss, really. There's also the classical reports, the one that may be given to parents and young people, and the technical report, which is often used in onward referrals. The historical or longitudinal aspect of the SDQ provides easy visualization of changes in SDQ over time. The questions that are raised are, is there a need for intervention? If the SDQs are being carried out during intervention, is the intervention effective? Should we just monitor this young person? Or should we discharge this person with the justification of the SDQ scores? All good questions. In this case, for this particular student, you can see that there's significant deterioration of prosociality and hyperactivity over a period of a year. There's also possible deterioration in peer and emotionality scores. And although the total scores of 14 and 8 are not particularly unusual, the amount of change should be of concern. What I would like to see is a third assessment this year, and I also would like to see the SDQs of teachers and parents, and I would have liked to have seen them for all years. And one from this may wish to consider a full psychiatric assessment, even if it's only to exclude serious problems. But think of the power this visualization may have, especially if bolstered with parent, teacher, and another year. Think of the power of this for onward referral. The SDQ Plus also groups individuals. We call them cohorts. The aggregation of individuals into cohorts is both arbitrary and non-exclusive. You don't have to particularly have a reason for doing it, and an individual can belong to any number of cohorts. For example, here's a cohort, a Year 7 class, suburban London, pretty typical, pre-pandemic, and look at that. Full 1/3 are flagged up as having serious total problems. Another third have sub-problems throughout, including some even below the middle or above the middle, who are recording impact without any significant SDQ score. All of these are good questions to ask. Why is this so? Is this so? What do we do next? The SDQ can become the front end for a child mental health system, as shown here. In this particular diagram, rather busy on purpose, there's annual SDQs. Students with immediate concerns move on to DAWBA, which is a full panel diagnostic that we operate. And those who have problems indicated or diagnoses are generated are moved on directly to CAMS and other services. Those who don't meet the criteria can be thrown, if that's not the right word, can be put into a quarterly watchful waiting cycle of SDQs, and if concerns are become increased, they go back into the cycle of DAWBAs, and if they start to resolve, they go back into the annual cycle. There's also the opportunity to carry out interventions of a non-psychiatric nature here, and this is a proposed system. From a management point of view, by focusing on individual data, the data from people, management at every level gets the best possible quality of information. Student, class, school, council, country, if you like. And our dream is that every child receives at least one SDQ a year, and that every child who has an SDQ of significant concern gets a psychiatric diagnosis from DAWBA within 1 month of that concern. The SDQ, the DAWBA, are here today. They've been working for a decade and longer. So why dream? The journey starts with a single step. Thank you.